Right, so we are at here. So whenever you guys are ready, you can grab your food and come here. So grab a seat, and I think you're going to love this one because this gets straight away into something that you can apply on Monday, if not on Saturday. So if I can invite everybody to join us. Okay, so we'll start with the introductions. Rajiv, you want to go first?
Hello. So hi everyone, my name is Rajiv. I currently work with a company called Hiver. And prior to that, I was working with a company called BrowserStack. Most of my experience, when you hear me talk about in terms of customer success majorly, is with BrowserStack. So there's a lot of stories. If I get the time, I will share with them with you. I've been in the industry for 15 years, and around 9 of them have been in the B2B SaaS field. And I know Puneet because not technically he is my guru, so he's taught me most of what I want to know today. So you will pretty much probably hear an echo of what Puneet has already said over here. So a lot of what he's told me is actually been passed on here. So yeah, I'll leave it to you.
Perfect. So one cool thing about Rajiv, and today he's going to teach us all, and me included. I think he's moved from, so he's been a sales leader, very successful sales leader also. And he's recently started learning his hands very specifically in onboarding, and very specifically both at BrowserStack and currently with Hiver. I think he's set up those processes, so we look to learning.
Hi guys, my name is Apoorva. Coincidentally, 2 of the 3 panelists who were here before, I've worked in the same companies as them. I'm currently with Branch Metrics now. Been in customer success for about 5+ years, which I believe is when the entire movement started in India from San Francisco. Yeah, excited to share whatever I've learned till now.
The cool thing about Apoorva is, she's one of the most active community members, not just in Bangalore, but almost globally is what I've heard. You'll sort of find her most connected, but that also gives us, I think she's going to bring in perspectives from what she's learned from her experience and what she's learned from speaking, meeting, talking, so many other customer success leaders. And of course, now we will know the other panelists. Her onboarding made them successful, right? So cool. Go ahead.
Hi everyone, this is Sri at Whatfix. So essentially I've been an entrepreneur, and I had my first company when I was 19, had 5,000+ customers, was interviewed by Rashmi Bansal. That was one of my happiest moments, and Rashmi Bansal is the author of Stay Hungry, Stay Foolish. So after which, I did my MBA, and I was one of the early employees at Whatfix. So joined as a sales executive, so I was directly reporting to the CEO. I think I've had one of the most amazing experiences reporting to the CEO, learning from the CEO, became a sales manager, senior sales manager at Whatfix, had the first sales team at Whatfix, and today we have 110 employees at Whatfix, with good funding, good number of customers. So recently I made a switch from senior manager sales to customer success with the idea that it's not just about creating recurring revenue for the company, it's about creating recurring value to our customers. So since I do not have a lot of customer success experience as such, so I've always believed that do micro experiments and that micro experiments will lead to a process. So that's how we are building customer success at Whatfix, and today I'll be sharing some experiences.
So, when I first met Sri, that was late last year. We agreed for a 45 minutes meeting, and for 3 hours, we were discussing customer success, and I think out of which 2.5 hours we were discussing customer onboarding. Although he's the youngest, as he's humbly putting in customer success space, he's also the fastest learner, and he's very recently rolled out and set up customer onboarding processes for Whatfix himself. So, looking forward to that. So with that said, let's talk about why we picked this topic. Like I was mentioning, customer onboarding. If you have to do one thing in the entire customer success journey, customer onboarding will be that one thing. If you think like, hey, customer success is too much, we're not ready, how can you cut it short? And I'll say this: if you just do customer onboarding, the first 30, 60, 90, whatever that time frame is for your customers, depending on what your product and industry is. If you can make your customer successful with that, and onboard them right, I think 80-90% of the battle is won right there. That is the background, and more data has already proved that this is going to be the first, should I say, the milestone within the customer success adoption that we should be achieving. And no matter where you succeed, if you fail at customer onboarding, nothing else will matter. You fail at everything. So with that said, my first question to the panelists is, what exactly is customer success?
So your question is, what exactly is customer success, or what is customer onboarding? The latter. Okay, so the question is, what exactly is customer onboarding, right? So essentially, some people define customer onboarding as the first 90 days of journey, a time-based answer. Some people define that a customer, as soon as the customer goes live, that's when a customer is declared onboarded, right? So for us, the definition is a bit different. So I wouldn't say by time or by go live. So customer onboarding is a process wherein a customer starts their journey with us and sees the first value delivered. So this is the first business outcome that they have planned for themselves with this tool. So that is when I see that the customer is onboarded. For some tools it might take 45 days, for some tools it might take 90 days or 180 days. So it just depends on the tool and the type of customer that you're selling to. And do not look at customer onboarding as, you're onboarding a company, right? So let's say we have Cisco as a customer. So we're not onboarding Cisco, we are onboarding a bunch of people at Cisco. So do not forget that you're onboarding people, and typically in the first few sessions we try to identify what is customer onboarding. After that we do something called as person onboarding as well. So this is something that we recently started, wherein we understand our champion. We understand their personal aspirations, as to where does he want to be, why did he buy this tool, so what is he trying to prove with this tool within his organization. So it's not just customer onboarding, it's all about the journey to first value delivered, with onboarding the person as well and not just the company.
Awesome. So if I had to put it in a very layman term, although most of you here are from CS, is fastest time to get somebody up and running, get a customer up and running with very minimum effort from their side. I think that's something that I look forward, that I put effort into when I am onboarding a customer, is that they don't have to do a lot to get the right documentation or to get into the product demos. Less effort from their side to see value. And the key metric that we measure, quite similar to Whatfix, is we would want to measure, or is time to first value. Because your implementation process could be long, but the moment that you see that, oh, this is the potential of the tool, or this is what I could get to achieve from this tool, I think that's the key metric to watch out for.
So yeah, to add to what everyone has said here, one of the things that we at Hiver plan to do essentially is we've actually taken a step back and we've gone and done an analysis of who are our most successful customers already. So we figured out that these are the feature sets they're actually using, and that's what makes a true power user of the product. So like they're using notes, for example, or they're using another few features. And what we did was we then did a cohort analysis where we figured out, okay, this is what a marketing team would typically use Hiver for. This is what an accounts team would use Hiver for. And then what we did was every time we got a customer that fell into that cohort, we essentially then figured out that these were the first time to value features for them. And we then worked towards getting them to that point. Now that could be through training, etc., which I'm sure comes further on, so I'll not go into that right now. But that is our concept of customer onboarding, is when we figured out that for a particular type of customer, this is the definition of being onboarded. So our definition varies from customer type to customer type.
I think that's a great point, both Rajiv and Apoorva, I think sort of already touched upon it. So Apoorva specifically mentioned that it's the effortless journey to first value. And I think what Rajiv, let's dive into this a little bit. You've already hinted is what exactly is first value. So Rajiv, to your point, you're saying that first value will depend on what industry they come from. Is that how you look at it?
So what we've actually done is we've gone really granular. We actually gone by function type. And when I say a function type, I mean, is this an HR team? Is this an accounts team? Is this a sales team? Is it a support team? What is the type of team that we're working on? And based on the type of team that it is, we have a different set of values. Just to give you a very simple example, if I'm a support team, it is very important for me to answer emails in X amount of time. So for them, in our book, a great first value would be setting up an SLA, like a service level agreement. Whereas if I'm an accounts team, I really want to declutter my inbox. I'm getting all kinds of email, and I want to declutter my inbox. For them, a great first value will be using our automation tool to auto-close emails that are spam. So basically what we are doing is we're making sure that everyone has what we define as first value there. So it is very, very variable, and we're still learning as saying goes, because we're already onboarding some unique teams. Like we recently onboarded a tools company. They actually build drill bits. I don't know what the first value for a drill bit company is, but I'm figuring it out as you go. And that's, I think, one of the exciting parts of doing this, is you figure stuff out as you go whenever a new team comes in. So yeah.
I think very interesting to note here, and what Rajiv just pointed out. So the same tool is purchased by different customers for different reasons. So, and if you can sort of immediately think through what your customers do, they buy the same product, but different customers have different reasons. So for example, if you, like Rajiv was mentioning in his case, if you think of a CRM, it's a common example, so I use that often, is a CRM can be purchased. Somebody can say, hey, I have all my opportunities in an Excel sheet, I need a realistic forecasting, and maybe that's the big number. For somebody else who's purchased the exact same CRM, might say that, hey, my sales team is distributed all across the world, and I want a commentary to bring everybody on the same page. But the third use case can be same CRM. We want to reduce the first response time to our needs. One product can provide three values, three different use cases, and I think that's a great job of generating and identifying. So that is value.
Rajiv, that I would tailor my onboarding particular to the use case, pertinent to the use case. For me, I think the way I see value is very simple, right? So they either have been able to get their campaign live, send an email or whatever that your product does, versus they were, like, one is that they were able to clearly do what the product they purchased for. Second, they were able to see potential of doing that. So either you were on a screen share call, you were able to show them what they could do with the product, and they had that aha moment that, oh wow, this is exactly what I needed. I needed to get this campaign live, or I needed to basically get this easy automation, and I'm able to see that with my use case. So either one of these two sort of works for me in knowing that there is value in the onboarding process.
Yeah, I think to sum it up, mainly they define it's all about value creation, right? But it can get a bit tricky when you're talking about value creation. So typically in the onboarding process, you make it a point that you talk to the sponsor of the project and the implementation contact of the project, understand value definition from their words. The sponsor might define value in a different way, and the implementation contact might not even know as to how this is going to impact the business value, right? So define the business value. One important point here is often we look at usage metrics, we look at a lot of metrics to derive value, but look at value in two different ways. One is a tangible value and one is intangible value. So tangible value is something that you can put your hands and say that, see, this is the usage. Your users have used my product for 5,000 times, and this is the perceived benefit or potential benefit that you have received with the product. But the intangible value is probably as simple as a feedback. Maybe you have just rolled out a tool for 50 users. If you do a quick survey, you just go say hi, catch them in the coffee counter and just ask them, are you finding this useful? Maybe they get good feedback. So how do you get that intangible feedback and then push it back to the customer is something that defines the value.
I think I'll really take points. So getting a sign up directly from the sponsor to get like, okay, is this what value to you? Okay. And then being very, very specific to what the use case is. What should be the goal for the first very specific 30, 90, whatever the onboarding period is? Because a lot of time when you go back to the sponsors, they say, hey, for the CRM, let's say the goal is to improve my conversion rate. But we all know conversion rate is not going to improve in the first 90 days. Right? So how do you ensure that there is some value which gets delivered during the onboarding, that they are willing to continue to work? So what should be very, very specific goal? We can, I think, continue to build on this conversation. How can we be even more specific and say, tell me the goal for the first 90 days, where the onboarding we mark as check marks and done?
That's a good question as well. So typically what happens is, we would always define a value, saying that going live to X number of users or supporting 30% of my, reducing 30% of my support queries is a value for a sponsor. But the important thing that gets missed out there is, I'll give you a practical example as well. So recently when I onboarded a customer, they just said that I think the first value we'll see when we roll out these 10 walkthroughs. So in Whatfix we have a concept called walkthroughs. It's like building video, you build a walkthrough as well. So you roll out 10 walkthroughs, that's value for me. So the important question here is, we often forget to ask what is the timeline and scope of this project. So when we say first value, you want to roll out these 10 walkthroughs within the first 30 days, within the first 90 days. Is that even possible? What kind of collaboration is required for that first 30 days or 45 days? Often it's not that we have not delivered value, often there is a mismatch in expectation. So the customer would think that I will be able to, as soon as I purchase the tool, I will be able to build 10 walkthroughs and roll out within the first 30 days. Otherwise it might not be feasible. Given the time constraints on both ends, it might not be feasible. So first, clear out those goals. And I would always say business impact or value with project timelines and the scope very, very different. That's what's going to happen to this.
I would like to come back to your question. So when you said, you wanted to achieve 20% conversion rate in that year, what I would like to ask the customer is, what is your current conversion rate? Before my tool came in, what kind of metric were you at? And when I came in, ideally yes, I cannot help you reach 20 in 90 days. But did you see any delta at all? Right? Did you see any delta with me coming in? Did you see any sort of going live at all? So I would try to sort of highlight that, even if I'm not able to deliver the exact percentage metric that sign up was for.
So to add on to what they've already said, one of the most important rules I think we're missing out when we think of this is that there's a person who's already actually done the value gathering and who's already actually shown the basic value, especially in the case where there's a trial sign-up being done or when they get a chance to validate the product and actually sales. Okay, so in our case, we have a sales guy who's actually done the value gathering for them, who's actually helped them out with the POC of the product, and after 14 days or 30 days, depending on what kind of customer it is, they go and buy the product. So for us, the value gathering part is already done. We know what they're looking for. The further point for us is to give some thought leadership in that saying, hey, you know what, we've got customers X and Y and Z who are already using the product for us, and you are similar teams to them. I noticed you're not using these aspects of the software. Is it because it doesn't apply to you guys at all, or is it because that you don't know about it? That's where our role is very, very important. So our goal is actually to decide the goals for the first 30 days. As it's very rightly said, depends on what they want to do with that product overall. Not every metric, unfortunately, is measurable. For example, we've got a very arbitrary thing that you'll hear in sales all your life, which is we want to improve efficiency. Now, how the hell do you measure efficiency? And how can you say, oh, your efficiency is gone up by 6% this month? It's very hard to tell. So basically, the idea is to understand what was valuable to them. Is that will first of all be delivered or not? That usually is done by the sales guy. That's why they buy the product, because they kind of convince their capital buyers for it. So the second half of the onboarding essentially is more thought leadership from ourselves, saying, companies like yourself, or teams like yourselves have benefited in the past when they've used certain features or certain aspects of the software, and these are the aspects. And if they show further interest in the training sessions, etc., which I'll talk about, which essentially helps them get to where they want to go. So a common assumption checking talk about is we assume that our customer actually always knows what he wants, which is not the case. If you've done sales long enough, customer just comes in with a list sometimes saying, oh, this is a list my boss said, strike out this list. So he doesn't know what value is for him. That's why a certain amount of thought leadership is always needed to be.
That's the last point is very interesting, Rajiv. So what exactly is our role, as a customer success, person who is sort of onboarding the customer? What exactly is the role? Are we serving the customer? Are we a friend to our customer? Or are we the doctor to the customer?
And this is me echoing what Puneet talked about. I think I still stick with the doctor mentality. We are the doctor in the end of the day. The patient is saying, my hand is hurting. It could mean anything from a heart attack to a pain. So we actually have to figure out what works for him is best, what is the real symptom underlying, and then give him the best course of treatment. And if you go to a good hospital, they do physiotherapy, so I guess you can call the onboarding sort of the physiotherapy that's going on after the sales. So I think doctor mentality is the best thing that works for us.
So essentially, just to add on top of this, I think Apoorva got a very simple and important topic which is often forgotten. So during the sales process, I've been a sales guy for enough of my experience. One of the simplest and the most efficient sales techniques that work is showing a prospective customer the before and after story. So this is the case today. You have these many challenges with your business. At the end of the day, they are money tool to solve some business challenges, right? So this is the before story, and the sales guy gives a prediction of the after story. So as a CSM, it's our job to actually implement that, create the before and after story for the first time, and show it to the customer in a tangible way, saying that, see, this is the before, this is the after, and this is the first value that we deliver.
I think it's a very, very valuable tool that you just shared with everybody, showing the before and after. But usually after is a long list that sales gets sold, right? And that long list is very hard to achieve in the first 30, 60, 90 days. During the onboarding phase, getting a sign off that, okay, let's take you here. So how do we ensure that we are not overdoing, underdoing? Clearly what you're suggesting is, should we teach the customer like everything about the product? Should we enable all the features? For example, there is the function, there's an HR function who's using Hiver. Should you teach them all the features that an HR function is benefit from? Or are you going to hold some features back, hold some usage patterns back, and restrict yourself to a smaller usage?
Essentially, I'll start with the first one. So obviously, you have a list of features, 25, 30 features. The customer pain point is XYZ. So as a CSM, we first have to understand which features would make sense for those pain points. So So that's where we spoke of a consultative approach, right? So you might have 25 features, but these 5 features are going to solve the first highest pain point. So often a person buys a tool when they have a very tangible pain point, right? So that's the first pain point that we have to look at. And irrespective of the time, let's say we have a 90-day onboarding process. So is this the pain point that we want to solve first? So that's a sprint for us. So essentially after that sprint, you have to educate the customer that it takes 3 or 4 sprints. Like Apoorva mentioned before, it's not going to solve the problem in the very first sprint itself. It takes 3 or 4 sprints. So can we come up with a strategy to identify 3 to 4 sprints where we do that onboarding process repeatedly in order to solve these challenges?
So I think great point. So what you call sprints is, so would you call all 4 sprints as part of onboarding, or do you just want to call the sprint 1 onboarding and the rest of them as the subsequent playbooks?
Could you repeat that?
So is the first sprint onboarding or all 4 sprints are onboarding? Well, what is your definition of onboarding?
So essentially, the first sprint is onboarding, where you identify the next 3 engagement sprints. So I would call it as an onboarding sprint, and the next 3 followed are engagement sprints, where you are trying to increase the adoption of the product.
That's a solid point. Very good.
Yes, so completely agree with Srihari, but I also have another angle here, and this is me being selfish as a CSM. So the next time I reach out to the customer, I don't want to say, hey, just checking in how you're doing this quarter, right? Like, I instead want to say, hey, there's this new feature which I think kind of makes sense with your business use case, and add more quality and value to the subsequent conversations, right? Which is why I will hold back the first time that I'm talking to them during onboarding. I'll only talk to them about the 2 things that they signed up for immediately, and the rest is like, let's low price and talk about it later. So, yeah.
So to add pretty much what you said, I do agree if you bombard a customer with a 1,000 feature product, they are not going to take away any value eventually. They just want to say, okay, this is too much for us. There's actually a risk of them thinking it's actually too much, which you want to avoid. So which takes me back to the original part. I said I actually divided my customers into cohorts to make sure I don't bombard an HR team. So that's one of the things that we've done, taken away initially, the first part itself. The second part, like I said, I've got the luxury of a salesperson who's actually gone in there, figured out what they need. So by the time my team gets on to doing what they need to do, we actually narrowed it down to certain aspects that we're going to work on with them. Now, having to answer your question further, even then, it's not like one feature that is going to go top. It's probably 15, 20, 30 features. How do you prioritize which feature to go with? I think that's where the customer approach is very, very important, because the CSM needs to take whatever the sales guy has done and actually build on top of that and say, look, I understand this about you already. I know you're doing this already. But let's talk a little bit more about what would be a must-have or a good-to-have in the software. What would make life even simpler for you? And then just take it from there and say, okay, then this is now coming on the wish list. So in reality, in a SaaS business, the must-haves are usually checked off by the time they buy the product. They won't buy the product, the must-have is not checked off. So you're effectively working on a wish list or a must-have or good-to-have or, oh, I didn't know this kind of feature list. So that's what you need to narrow it down as to what you want to start.
I think this is great, information and knowledge sharing that is coming from all 3 of you. In one case, one of the common mistakes that we've seen, and we all start doing customer onboarding, that we decide, we assume that training is equal to customer onboarding. That's one. Training is required. I'm not saying training is not required. But the mistake that happens is, we try to train customers on every feature in the very first 15, 30 days. And guess what happens? Customers like, holy shit, I'm not doing all of this. Has that ever happened that a customer never showed up for the second training, third training, calls them off, the onboarding keeps on getting deferred? That usually because we haven't set expectations, we don't know what they want, and we are probably overwhelming the customer. In one such case, where we were working with our own customer, and they had a 90-day onboarding process. And their biggest problem was that the customers will stop talking to them and just vanish, abandon them. They will not even ask for refund. They'll just abandon the project and run away after 2 or 3 training sessions. And they normally used to have about 6 training sessions lasting up to 2 hours each. And these guys were not even their customer base was not even very technology friendly. They were selling into a non-tech industry. And the moment we sort of analyzed that, it was natural and obvious that you're torturing your customers, overwhelming your customers. You're literally scaring away your customers. When we were able to work exactly how I think value identification by sales guy that was implemented, identifying that we want to take them just to the first value, and then using the methodology that Sri was hitting on, that let's divide that in multiple sprints. And sprint 1 is onboarding. The onboarding time got down to 32%. More important than that, 95% of the customers were successfully onboarded within those 35 days. So that's the sort of magical improvement you can expect once you've identified what onboarding means for your customers. Now the second learning that I'm seeing that you guys are hinting, especially Rajiv, so onboarding will mean different things for different customers. That means, how many of you actually use playbooks or a well-defined onboarding process already? Great. How many of you have more than one onboarding process? More than one onboarding playbook? Great. So I think what Rajiv's point was that, hey, maybe you might want to have 3, 4, 5, depending on how many personas and how many core reasons there are for purchase. If you purchase from an HR, put them into the HR onboarding journey, which might be very different from somebody who's purchased from a support onboarding journey. So can we talk about that? Have you seen something like that?
Yes, absolutely. So our tool gets used by marketers and developers, and two very different kinds of people, right? So one is very people friendly. They will be like, yes, you know what? Explain it to me. Tell me what you've learned. And the other will be like, send me docs, that's it, thanks. So you do have to cater to different personalities within your different teams and not overwhelm them, I think, as you very clearly said. While we don't have the details of it nailed down as yet, I think I personally, in my approach, know that, yes, this is how you need to tackle these different personality types.
Essentially, one of the biggest advantages when I was interviewing for Whatfix was I asked my CEO what is the biggest advantage of Whatfix as a tool. So he told me that Whatfix is applicable everywhere because Whatfix works on any web-based application of your choice. It could be an e-commerce site, it could be Salesforce, it could be Facebook, it could be anything. So then, after working as a CSM, I realized that the biggest advantage that my CEO told that it was applicable everywhere. Now the biggest disadvantage is it's applicable everywhere. So, literally, I've sold it to NASA, I've sold it to Siemens, I've sold it to Cisco. So these many different customers will have different use cases, challenges, and all of that. Right? So during this entire process, I would say, try to come up with a basic framework for onboarding. It might start with as simple as working with your sales team. So when you're working with your sales team, go a bit deeper. So every single department that you're working, go a bit deeper. Go to the SDR notes, sales development representative, as to what were the initial conversations that they had, what motivated them to come on a demo, how was the sales process, how did the sales process go through. So in these cases, you'll start finding out, some small details like, when a person who bought the tool is also the implementation contact at the company, the implementation is far better, just because he has driven the entire initiative. So these are some small details that you'll start to find out. And typically, if I have to define the onboarding process, I would define interact with sales and SDR. The second one is send a questionnaire even before you have an onboarding session. Third, have an onboarding session based on the answers from the questionnaire that you've got. The fourth one is help them communicate the launch of that tool. That we're launching this tool. You have to use these are the benefits that you have. So customers, users, right? So you have to identify the customers, users, and help them communicate that. And sign it off with an implementation report. So that this is the implementation that we've done, and these are the benefits that we've seen.
Do people ever fill the questionnaire?
Yeah, that's a pretty good question. So essentially, out of 100 customers, not all 100 customers are going to fill out the questionnaire. But the success doesn't lie with all the 100 customers filling it out. The success lies with the conversion that you get. that they want to respect your process, go through the process, then you have a higher chance of better preparation to a better onboarding. So,
Got it. So because I think you're super lucky because working in India market, I created an implementation plan, I shared it. Nobody opened it. Nobody cared about it. I kept asking them to fill it to realize that they would stop taking my calls if I kept doing that. So I think like a high level of empathy is also important during the onboarding process. Suppose if you buy a tool and you feel like you're comfortable with it and you don't want somebody to keep asking you, are you okay with it? Are you okay with it? Maybe like I wouldn't do the same to somebody. Not saying that you're doing it, but I refrained from sharing a lot of documentation during the onboarding process as a manner of overwhelming.
I think just to add on to that, there might be an angle to it. So what we've seen and what we have analyzed is it can be very specific to your industry. For example, if let's say talk about the industry that Rajiv is representing, which is the support industry. Now, customer support industry is not new. We all have seen flavors, we work with them, we've been there largely. So most of the time when somebody is buying a customer support platform, he's not buying it for the first time. He is not implementing it for the first time. He is very likely in that industry for the last 10, 15 years. That means that individual knows exactly what to do with the product, and hence they may not want as much hand-holding as you are. Whereas in the other industry, like customer success industry, interestingly, so every time we send out a questionnaire and we offer them a workshop on, hey, here is a 2 hours workshop we're going to do to set up account health. Here is a 1 hour workshop to do how do we set up your onboarding journey or an onboarding playbook. People love to sign up for that, and people sit through, and we can't solve for them, so we just enable them to go through the workshop. Another interesting place where I've seen people love getting that help, post-purchase, whenever you're selling into a non-tech industry. And when your typical user is a typical non-tech user, I've seen people now filling those questionnaires, and trust me, the longer, the more involved they get. To address that India point, if I can drop in one more, how many of you serve India market as customer success? So, in your first meeting, open that template and then ask those questions, document. Ask those questions, document. Ask those questions, document. In the end, you leave that document with them. They will feel that they have contributed to it, and they'll give you an agreement, disagreement. You ask them to fill it out, and it's like lazy.
Well, that's like my key takeaway from this right now.
No, I hope it works, and let us know if that does. So let's move on to the next one, which is I think very interesting. Who should really onboard? And we've seen variety. And frankly, I think the industry right now, if you ask me the industry that I know, because we speak to so many customer success leaders in so many SaaS companies, I think it's right now down 50-50, and I'll tell you which 50. Should there be a customer onboarding specialist? Anybody a customer onboarding specialist here? Right here, like customer onboarding specialist. Your job is just to onboard. Great. Should it be the job of the customer success manager? And I've got one customer where they actually, the sales takes responsibility of the onboarding. So should it be specialist, CSM, sales, and just to throw it in the mix, should support onboard customer success, onboard customers?
I'll just go first because I dabbled in doing this for a bit. I was an onboarding specialist, which meant that any customer that came in to my organization, I was the first point of contact. Until they first saw value, which is when I would hand over to the respective CSMs. And I feel that's not the best approach because it makes your customers question. So you're introduced as a product specialist. You're like, this person knows the in and out of the product. Then they're like, okay, so what does my CSM know? If this person is the product specialist, is the CSM not the product specialist? And onboarding is also a very critical time for you to build great relationships, right? Because the tool's just starting out. There's so much value add, which CSM should definitely do, right? It's a very high touch point, and I don't think CSM should miss out on that time. If I were to talk about sales doing that, I think they would just try to sell like, "Arey, 3 features are like, just add 2 more features to this mix." So probably not the best idea. Support would be interesting, although like I don't know any support functions who try to do onboarding, but why not? Interesting.
So you're looking at one team where the support team is actually involved in onboarding. So what we eventually figured out, and this was my learning from Browser Stack. When I joined Browser Stack initially, I had a ridiculously high quota, and I quickly discovered that that quota was not going to get hit by just closing the business. So I had two options. I could hire a separate independent customer success team. I quickly realized that the biggest resources were actually sitting in the company already, which was my sales. They had the existing relationship with the customers that just closed a few months back. They were perfectly capable and willing to learn customer onboarding or customer success. And the only tricky parts for them were when it was a highly technical version of highly technical onboarding. And we figured out the best way to hack that was to go on a call and get our support guy to sit next to us and just get the onboarding done in real time in conjunction with the support. So that is the learning which I carried forward from Browser Stack to Hiver as well. So to give you an example of how it's working at Hiver right now, if one of my account executives, for example, Rajiv sitting right there, were to go to close a deal, and he figures out very, very quickly that this customer is pretty much not using the product like he should be, or something is very wrong, it's very low usage, he would go after them and say, "Can I do a training session for you? Would you like me to get a training session?" And then what he would do is he would either go on the call or just open up the call and let my support guy actually walk them through the entire training, because obviously some of the things that they're going to ask are going to be pretty technical. And Raghav may not want to dabble in that, knowing that there's a person who capable that is sitting on the call with regards to the technicality there. So that's what we're doing right now, and it's working very well for us, because at the end of the day, during that 30-day journey, which is our onboarding time is 30 days, we're happy at the end of 30 days, there is still one person that sits in the customer's mind, that is Raghav.
Rajiv, do you think, specifically a support guy training, this is the first time I'm hearing it, works in your case because you're pretty much educating them on the product. You're not educating them on the domain, given the domain that you are from. Do you think it will work where the customer doesn't know himself what he wants? Then it will be very challenging to, for a support guy who understands the product very well, and which is very valuable information, but is not able to contribute a lot on the domain side.
So that's why there's a sales guy sitting right next to him. That's why there's the two of them connected. So the sales guy's role initially is to actually completely understand where that customer sits in that cohort analysis in head, because he's already gotten the value statement out from him earlier. And he's the guy, and this is real thing happening. When it happens, is he's telling the support guy, "Don't show this feature, stop. Don't go there. I know what they want, don't go there. This is not good."
I know I can argue with you. So, see, the job of sales is what the product can do, right? And sales, many of you are sales or ex-sales, you know exactly to talk about, okay, this is what the product can do for you. Sales usually don't know how the product can do. That's where you bring in the support and you bring in how it works.
So, super question there. And that is one of the reasons why most of my sales, all my sales team has to actually go through almost all of the support training initially as well. So my sales is very well versed in the product. To give you an example, when the customer is initially trying the product, my sales team usually never lets it pass on to the support team till the point that it is pretty much where they need some serious help. So if you look at my current sales guys, if I were to throw them in the support chat, they probably would hold their own, because we discovered very soon if you keep having so many different departments to handle a single process, you'll be sitting on a 7-people team just doing 3 different things. And that kind of doesn't work out in today's day and age, where the customer would like to stick with just one person. In this case, maybe Raghav sold it, so I don't know Raghav. I need technical support, I still don't want to talk to Raghav. Let him decide what's best.
So I think one thing which is clearly coming out of this conversation is having a single contact who sort of continues, preferably from pre-sales into post-sales. And if a specialist is brought in, like who was mentioning, that opportunity of building that initial mutual relationship and showing that you can add value to their process is sort of lost if you bring in a specialist. So you're recommending, being a specialist, you're recommending having a success manager do it. Yeah, please.
So essentially, who should do onboarding, right? That's the important question here. So I would suggest it depends on the stage of the company. If there's sub 5 million, in that case, I would suggest the CSM to go through the entire life cycle, so that once you understand the entire life cycle, so let's say I have a small team right now at Whatfix with 6 people. So once all the CSMs go through the entire onboarding cycle, engagement cycle, renewal cycle, out of these 4 or 5 people, now I'll be more confident to see as to who is onboarding better, or who has a knack for onboarding, who is showing early value, who is tying the communication loop, and probably involve that person as a specialist, who can do some special onboarding, or who can only specialize in onboarding. My take is you cannot specialize, or you cannot just do onboarding until you understand the big picture of the entire sales cycle.
That's a great point. Apoorva, go ahead.
Yeah, I just have something to add here. If I were to set up my own CSR, instead of having an onboarding specialist, I would try to drive more one-to-many ways of doing onboarding, right? So instead of hiring an extra person who just takes care of onboarding, maybe do webinars for all the customers who signed up in this month. Like we are not sharing any business sensitive information, but sort of getting them, their CSM, to do that one-to-many engagement.
Okay, I think that's a great point. Just hold on to that, and then let's finish the pros and cons of bringing in a sales specialist. There's one more angle I think that I'd like to sort of get your views on is, do you think the complexity of the problem? Because the only situation frankly that I know of where an onboarding specialist will make sense is if your product is very, very complex, or it works in a very specialized environment. For example, you have, if the product is not very complex, or your sales and your support can understand the domain equally well, I think you have the advantage that they can play multiple roles. But let's assume a product which works on an oil rig, okay, an offshore oil rig. Majority of the sales guy will know how to sell that value proposition to oil rig, but would have never stepped onto it themselves. You will clearly need somebody who has spent years on that oil rig to onboard, and a success manager maybe from a different perspective. I think that's the only situation that I can think of.
So even in that situation, because we're talking about tech, we're talking about SaaS, I feel like a solutions engineer could replace an onboarding specialist in most of the cases, if not all.
Yes, and I think that also makes a very natural case for charging for onboarding or bringing in your professional services. How many of you charge for onboarding, but there is a premium onboarding?
Not for onboarding, professional services, yes.
Professional services, but professional services, I'm assuming majority of the time is deployed during onboarding process
It's a
itself.
very premium onboarding which involves strategy.
Correct. And I think that's a great job that majority of the Indian SaaS companies I think are not doing very well, and we don't have to keep it all for free, rather offer premium service at a premium price, and there's lots of takers for that.
Sure, absolutely. To add to that, the wider example was really good, to be honest. In the kind of industry we are, we're all in the SaaS industry right now. I think everyone wants a multi-functional team. Nobody wants super specialization. Like I said, I've got an onboarding specialist and a customer success manager. Then I've got a pre-sales engineer who's also probably involved before the sale with my sales guy. The problem with that is there's so many hands involved. When there is a real problem, everyone's first of all looking at each other. Going, whose problem is this? Is this the pre-sales engineer's problem? Is it the customer success problem? What about the sales guy? To avoid that, that's why I've always worked trying to keep it as few hands as possible involved in the entire journey. To make it very simple for the people involved is like to know, yeah, this is still my account, I need to look after this.
So very interesting angle, a very counterpoint on when to specialize and not to specialize. And I'm personally a huge fan of specialization. Whenever your business can afford it. Not every time your business can afford every specialization. That's a fair point. So with that, let's move to the advantages and disadvantages of doing one-to-many and one-to-one onboarding. Let's talk about that. Which one do you prefer and why?
So my view is, I think this will be very evident. I'm definitely for one-to-one because I've already said I've got cohorts. I know who my customer type is, so I can't afford to one-to-many unless I'm closing. Coincidentally, I've closed 5 HR meetings in the last 5 days. If that happens, then maybe I could do a one-to-many. But in our industry type, that luxury will take this. You're closing customers from all walks of life, which basically means you're either looking at a 1 month schedule saying this is the onboarding especially for an HR team. If you can granulate to that level, maybe you can do a one-to-many. But in our business, a one-to-one would make more sense where I close a customer or concentrate on his requirements, his needs, and try to onboard.
That's interesting. Although I'm a very curious question of the topic. If you're onboarding and is so specialized based on the HR function, do you have sales reps also which specialize? You're from the HR function, then it goes to X sales rep, and if you're from the support function, it goes to Y sales rep.
That is definitely on the roadmap. So you got that right. That's on the roadmap. I'm planning on doing educational specialists, government specialists, and maybe a few more spending specialists.
I think, like Rajiv said, ideally, yes, every onboarding, every interaction would be one-on-one is to one. But given how it's difficult to hire more CSMs as you scale, if you have 100 customers, you can't be on 20 CSMs. That also gets pretty tricky. So that's when I would look to scale one-to-many. I personally, I dabbled a bit with trying webinars out. I'm not going to say that it was extremely successful. I think it needs to be fine-tuned better, but it works as a one-time activity. It works, and yeah.
I would definitely vote for one-to-one as well. But I'll just take a step back on the entire specialist approach. So what I would say is, since most of the companies and most of the people that I've interacted today are from early stage startups, except of course Pluralsight and Belong. So these early stage startups, the mindset with which we started is, do every onboarding as if it's a paid onboarding. It's as simple as that. So as if the customer has paid for it, I'm going to take the initiative, I'm going to do that onboarding as if it's a paid onboarding. So once you have enough onboardings, these skills will help you come up with a playbook wherein you can make a person specialized in that onboarding playbook itself. So that's the entire approach. And it's Friday, right? Just to get a bit filmy and dramatic. A specialist is not born on day one. A specialist is made over a period of time.
Let me bring in an interesting angle on onboarding one-to-many versus one-to-one. And this was learning that we obviously got from some of our customers and they've successfully been running both. So what they found was they had a decently complex product, which takes about 90 days to configure, all of that stuff, set it up. But usually, and tell me if that is true for you as well, how many of you have a configuration side or an admin side to your product, and then there is a boss user side to the product? So, brilliant. So what we've seen is when you're working to solve the business problem, you are usually working with somebody who understands the business thing, somebody who's going to configure the platform, and somebody who's going to pretty much, for example, in our case, I work with the head of customer success to help them configure the playbook. But once the playbook is configured, then we can do a one-to-many training for all the success managers. So there is an admin side and a user side, if you can use that terminology. And if your users can be like, if your user training is like common, then I think the webinars and things like that you'll see very, very effectively working, while you can enjoy and give that vital service on the admin side. You have any comments, feel free to add, otherwise
Just to add to this, we recently closed a very large deal. That they had 10 administrators for the product and 80 users. So first things first, they said we want a common training, and we actually pushed back saying no, the admins will get training separately, and the users will get training separately. Please don't bring the users to the admin training and the admins to you.
It was well-played example of being a doctor. A lot of times you have, patients walking in, customers walking in, telling you, Mr. Doctor, who's the success manager, I have fever, prescribe me this antibiotic, and I want to take all the pills tomorrow, and and I want to go to work the next day. Right? As a doctor, your job is to tell, shut up, listen to me, sit down, that's not what you need. I know your symptom, I'm going to decide your medication. You have to take 1 pill a day, 4 sprints, like you mentioned, and eventually over the year, your health will improve. And I think that's where we need to be very, very clear, and that's well-played example of playing a doctor. Good job.
Yeah, it's a learning which we had made a couple of mistakes because we actually realized when we call everyone, the administrator is not looking at the function. It's like, how does this work? And I have to stop the entire training session and explain it separately to the administrator while everyone else in the room is yawning. Like, why is he answering this question? So we actually learned from our mistakes and we started doing this.
Okay, we'll keep moving forward. So, I think we've covered a decent bit of topic, but let's not talk about, so we defined what a customer onboarding should be, how to go about it. But how do we know that we've successfully onboarded this customer? Who decides that? And what is the data point that decides that? We've seen multiple ways. Should it be time bound? If a success manager, and which is what is typical, if you have completed all the success manager tasks, which 90% of those tasks are, if you've delivered all these trainings in the time bound manner, let's say the first 30 days, then onboarding was successful. How many of you have a time bound measure of whether the onboarding is successful? Okay, great. Is that the only measure?
No.
No? Good. Then, should it be feedback based? Like you go to the customer and say, hey, what's your feedback? Whether you ask them certain questions or maybe it could be a net promoter score, a survey that you might want to run. Or how many of you run an NPS immediately after onboarding? Immediately after onboarding, great. Should it be based on any customer reviews? So how many of you ask for customer reviews immediately after onboarding? Okay, great. And how many of you ask for referrals after onboarding? Okay, Sri does that, courageous onboarding. So, out of all these things that you do, where do you say, because I've got a better NPS or whatever, my onboarding is successful? What's that key parameter?
I'm going to sound repetitive at this point, but I think time to first value is when I definitely know that the onboarding is over. Like the implementation is done.
So, I know I'm interrupting. So what we're trying to figure out is, how do you know that the customer has received that value? It's well established now that it has to be time to value. We want to take it to value. But how do you know that value is delivered?
So I am lucky enough to be able to see those metrics on my dashboard. I believe that
What metric? NPS, reviews,
no. So if I were to get into more details, no. The metric that the implementation is complete, the campaign has gone live, there are clicks or whatever details on that particular thing. So I'm able to very clearly see that they're using the product.
Product adoption.
Product adoption, right? In very simple ways. I think that's a clear sign that yes, the onboarding is over and successful. If that has not happened, and which is also the case in a lot of cases, then I have to rely on secondary feedback from them that things look positive, the implementation's underway, but it still looks like we're going to need more time, right? Or just feedback in that case.
On the entire onboarding piece, so the entire onboarding piece, it's a fair question as well. So first value delivered can be a bit delayed from going live, right? So let's say I've gone live today with the product. It takes me 1 month to actually see the first value delivered and then communicate it back. So when we are going live, let's say that go live experience is really good. So that's when you start climbing on the advocacy ladder. So the very first rung of that ladder is getting your review. How was the onboarding experience? Now this will help our prospective customers understand how was our onboarding experience there. So you ask for a specific testimonial or review right after the go live period. And then say after 1 month they start seeing value, they start seeing usage. That's when you ask for a referral as well. That's when I declare a customer is onboarded. At the same time, I just go one spot above the advocacy ladder and say that, hey, I saw that you were working in Microsoft before and you were working in the Salesforce team. Do you think you could connect me to somebody at Microsoft Salesforce team? So you do not ask for a referral, an automated referral, can you refer me to somebody? The customer has no idea as to who does he has to refer. Because he had a successful onboarding, you have to ask a specific question saying that can you refer to this person in your company or in the previous company, and that's when. So that also tells you that if the customer is happy with the first value delivered. But if the customer is happy with the first value delivered, that's when the customer is going to refer to someone in the first place.
That's a good point. That also reminds me, if you are handing over from a onboarding specialist to a success manager, the customer says, I don't have to return any favor to this guy because now I'm going to be dealing with some other fellow. So I think referral you can only ask if you have the same person continuing the relationship.
Yeah, just to add to that, I've got a very simple rule. It's a 2020 period. We've got a 80-80, which is if 80% of our users are using 80% of the features we plan out for use, you kind of consider it.
Overwhelming. Maybe depending on how your product is along.
So what happens basically is we rarely get that number, and that's when we go back and say, hey, this user is not even started using the product. What's up?
So we do that sprint example, and I really love it. So here is what, and I think Apoorva was also mentioning. Onboarding should not be the only playbook that you use with your customers. In fact, if you really break it down, onboarding can't be a one-time exercise. It has to be repeated. So in subscription economy, we are asking for a stream of revenue. A stream of revenue, just like the stream of water flows, it never stops. The revenue never stops coming. That is what we are asking them for. Similarly, they don't expect one-time value. The customers expect a stream of value. You have taken them to the first value milestones like, yay, it was worth 3 months of revenue that I've ordered, 3 months of subscription fee that I paid. Next 3 months, they expect something more, and so on and so forth. And eventually, when you run out of the current set of features, I think you will eventually, your product will evolve into more set of features. And if I can finish, so what we've also seen, a lot of times you can expect customers to, you will require to educate customers beyond their original page for which they purchased the product. For the rest of them, you will be required to educate the customer and see this is another benefit, another paying the same product for the same price. And now they don't mind paying you recurring revenue at all. And that leaves you, like Apoorva mentioned, you don't want to go back to them like, hey, how are you doing?
One last point on that. So I think that's absolutely correct. So let's say we did the onboarding, we went through the engagement sprints. Customer has spent 1 year with us. One of the things that most of us would forget is, how do you re-onboard a customer for the second year renewal? So recently we tried to do a re-onboarding with the customer for a second year renewal. So first year they paid us, we've done an EBR, it's looking good. The second year when we go there, again follow the sponsor implementation contact. Ask them, we identified that these are the challenges that we want to solve. This is what we have solved. So if you have renewed, there has to be a business purpose again. So what is the new goal that we have for this second year renewal, and how can we help to achieve it?
Again, really important, I think, renewals and re-onboarding, I love the entire idea. I think we'll do a webinar, if not a meetup for that. But that's another topic, another big one, but thank you. So with that, I think it was a lovely quick, we'll show you CustomerSuccessBox if you can still bear us for 10 minutes towards the end. So go ahead. In the meanwhile, any questions on onboarding? Was the session helpful in terms of, were we able to connect to some of the mistakes or the pain points or the journeys that you've gone through?
Yep.
Okay. So, okay, I have one question. Go ahead, sir.
So it's for Apoorva, where you mentioned, typically that you have dabbled with an idea of a specialist, and then, probably think about having a success manager overall. The nature of our product, I'm from WebEngage KU. The nature of our product is that, onboarding usually takes a lot of time, and, to deliver. The implementation itself is a cycle of 4 to 6 weeks. A lot of integrations that happen during that time period. So, you know, what do you see best value? Like we are right now with an onboarding and a customer success. That's how we are right now. What didn't work out for you, you know, in this piece where you see a gap or something?
I think it was mainly so the onboarding process went smooth. The time to first value reduced, right? That is the metric we were measuring. That was great. What I felt was the gap was the handoff itself. So you have a sales to CS, like sales onboarding specialist handoff, then you have an onboarding specialist to CSM handoff, right? Whenever you're increasing the touch points, information is always going to get lost, right? So I think ideally you would want to have your onboarding specialist and CSM at the same technical knowledge level, where you can have them, you know, like interchangeably work across. So that's one thing that will work for me. The second thing, I felt customers themselves were confused between if this guy is the product specialist, as I mentioned, is the CSM not the product specialist? Like, am I being downgraded?